Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is March 22nd. This is our regular town board meeting of the town of Rhinebeck. Would everybody please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okie dokie. We have a public hearing. I also want to let everybody know that Ed Roberts had a minor procedure today. He's not feeling well, so he won't be joining us. Sends his regrets, and we wish him to get well quickly. Before I'm going to make announcements and committee liaison reports. I'm going to bring them to the end of the meeting. And before I open the continuation of our public hearing on the two local laws between us, I'm going to hand this over to Michael Zarin.
Good evening. Thank you, Supervisor. So there were two possible minor modifications to the zoning laws that I wanted to raise with the board before we open the public hearing and possibly close it this evening. And this is based on additional comments that we've received from members of the public and others. So again, they're relatively minor, but I wanted to raise it and get the board's concurrence before we move forward. So the first one is on resolution 202-1074, the local law amending the town code charter 125 zoning in the matter of adding definitions pertaining to the hospitality uses in Article 8, definitions in the town of Rhinebeck. So it's in section 2 or page 2 of the proposed local law. There was a reference in the last sentence under the definition of lodging unit. It currently reads, including suite, single, and multiple bedroom layouts. Wanted to substitute the term guest room for bedroom. This was raised by a member of the public because guest rooms is the technical term for quote unquote bedrooms in lodging units. Lodging units are under commercial hospitality, whereas bedrooms refer to residential uses. So the correct, I think, nomenclature for this would be guest room, not bedroom. So that is the first. Supervisor, do you want to take these one at a time with the board?
I do, and I want to check with the clerk. John, are you clear on that?
Yeah, where it says lodging unit, right?
Yes.
The last sentence of that, we're substituting guest room for bedroom. Is it the case that Michael will not be able to send these to me by email tomorrow?
Michael will be able to send these to you tomorrow by email.
Okay, then.
Thank you. Go ahead, Michael, next.
Do we want to just poll the board first and see if there's concurrence?
Sure. Chauncey?
I concur.
Alan? Josh?
Good with me.
Okie dokie, next.
Okay, the second one deals with resolution 202-1075. That's the local law amending town code charter 125, zoning in the matter of amending the country into specific standards to provide density and use maximums in section 125-68.mm in the town of Rhinebeck. If you turn to page 1 of the local law and you look at section B1, and you go from 1, 2 from the bottom, count please, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line from the bottom. The start of the sentence is member only. Okay, so this would, if you go to the end of the line, it says subject to. I'm proposing that it reads subject to, we add the term at least one. So it'd be subject to at least one equivalent type and quality. And instead of the word for, we add the word of. So subject to at least one equivalent type and quality of food and beverage operation being available for general public use. Delete the S in operation. So what this sentence, what this wording or text is clarifying that with respect to private membership clubs, for example, if the country Inn 2 includes 2 restaurants or 2 bars, for example, they're only required to provide at least 1 restaurant or bar of equivalent type and quality. It's not necessarily a one-for-one. So that's the reason for the modified language.
Thank you, Michael.
This was raised by a particular individual.
Chauncey, are you in agreement?
I am.
Alan?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
And I am as well. Thank you, Michael.
And again, we've received throughout the public comment period and governmental, we've received a number of comments that have been helpful to us, not necessarily everyone reflected in the text or modifications, but and rather than go through each one, why not? But we thought these would provide clarification, necessary clarification. We appreciate all the comments that we did receive. Thank you.
We do. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. I'm going to open the public hearings now for the local law amending town law chapter 125 zoning in the matter of adding definitions pertaining to hospitality uses, etc., and a local law amending town code chapter 125 zoning section 68 MM in the matter of revising country Inn 2 standards, etc. Would anybody who wishes to speak please turn on your video and raise your hand? I'm taking new comments on these 2 laws. Deirdre, you're on mute.
Thanks. So I don't know if you're answering questions because
it's a public hearing, so we're listening.
Okay. Well, so I'll just say I have seen the agendas for these items, you know, that.
Which items?
Both of those, you know.
The local laws?
Yeah. Over the past of changing the language just by email. And then I saw the Daily Freeman article after your last meeting. So it seemed to me that it was directly linking to the project at Grassmere. So that just confused me. And so I'll just say, I know you're just listening, so I'll just say the questions I have, which is, I didn't know, and I wouldn't know how to share with my neighbors whether this was being changed specifically for a very specific project or a specific parcel of land or a specific project. And I guess I just had concerns about what that meant and whether that project at Grassmere, where that stood as far as public input on just what would certainly be interesting to people I know, which is the number of guest rooms, as it were.
So that's not what we're discussing tonight.
I understand, but if I'm allowed to speak, do I have a time limit or something, Elizabeth? Because
you have 3 minutes, but you're to speak to the laws before us.
Right. So I guess I'm just saying, as a citizen of the town, I don't know whether the origin is around a very specific project or a specific parcel of land. And I listened to one of the previous very brief hearings earlier on YouTube, and Mr. Zarin talked about the county having input on density issues, it seemed. So a question I had was, I was just interested in not knowing how the county has an input into these local laws. So that was another question I had. And yeah, so I think those are my questions, sort of the relationship to the project and the relationship with the county on density, and how else this project, how else these local laws might be promulgated so people can understand that there's an actual outcome for a development project.
Okay, thank you. I will answer this briefly. We're only taking comments to the two public laws before us, and some of your comments don't have anything to do with that, but I'm happy to address them. One, any local law that we do for zoning is referred to the County Department of Planning. They must be able to make comment on it. So that answers that. Two, there is currently an application for a country into in front of the planning board. The planning board will be where you get to participate in how that's developed. The plan is developed. The planning board must follow our law, and they have discretion in deciding the scope of a project within the within our law. So that's where all of the public comment will be taken. And three, this law is not directed specifically to one project. Does anybody, Michael, do you wish to speak further to that? Did I
think you did. You summed it up very well.
Okay. Does that, anything else, Deirdre? You good?
Good right now, thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak? Debbie, could you please show yourself? You're on mute. Debbie Duke.
Sorry. I just wondered, following up from Deirdre's question, if somebody could tell us what the genesis of this proposed change was. How, why was it?
Sure. Do you have another question?
Nope, that's it.
There was a discrepancy between our law and, Michael, am I stating this correctly? And a determination from our zoning administration.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
With regard to the hospitality definitions, there was some ambiguity in our law, and the planning board asked us to look at the law with clarity towards the definition. So that's why we took it up. With regard to country in two, Michael, can you speak to this for me?
Yes, it'd be a couple of answers. First of all, Debbie, we prepared a relatively long or lengthy called supplemental analysis under SECRA, both for the country in local law and the definitional, explaining in pretty strong detail the genesis and the evolutionary process and the predicate for the work that was done. So as the supervisor mentioned, a lot of this came from requests from the planning board and other rulings of the zoning administrator that raised some issues that required clarification and guidance from the legislative body, i.e. the town board. So that was the genesis of especially the country to in, but also the definitions. And if you go into the record and online, you'll see a much lengthier discussion that it was part of the hard look that the town board took in connection with both these laws.
Thank you, Michael. Would anybody else like to speak? Sean, you're muted.
My name is Sean Kemp. I represent Rhinebeck Villas. The only thing that I wanted to bring to the board's attention is with respect to the definition of suite. It refers to a combination of guest rooms, and it also allows for provisions for cooking, which is all fine and good. One concern I had, though, is this meant to eliminate a one-bedroom suite? because it refers to a combination of guest rooms, and guest rooms is plural. So I think we're all pretty familiar enough with the hospitality industry to understand that there is such a thing as a one-bedroom suite. So I would just like that to be brought to the board's attention. But otherwise, I'd like to thank Mr. Zarin and the town board's work on helping to bring these definitions to a conclusion. And thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Nobody? I would like to make a motion to close our public hearing.
Second.
Thank you, Chauncey. All in favor of closing our public hearing?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Thank you. Michael, do you have anything to add?
I don't, except to say that, you know, I think this was an impressive and robust process. You know, not being your regular attorney, I get an opportunity to see a lot of different municipalities and how they approach these types of matters. And I think you did it with both considerable broad width with respect to listening to the public and the various agencies, and thought as to its ramifications and meaning, so and implications. So I just wanted to say, you know, not me, but you all, including the public and people who have given so much input, I think you all deserve a tremendous amount of credit, and I hope that these laws serve the purpose that they were intended to.
Thank you, Michael. It's been really a treat to work with you. You've been a great asset for us.
And with Jim Levy on this.
Sorry?
Yeah. And with Jim Levy on this.
Jim Levy, yes.
Exactly. You are very fortunate. And I'm sorry I didn't mention in particular, but Jim has moved into my house. He's got a separate room right next to me. We talk through the wall a lot, and he deserves a tremendous amount of kudos and credit. And he's still with you, so you're very lucky to have him.
Thank you all. I'm going to go to tab 8. Resolution 2021-074, adopting a local law of 2021 entitled A Local Law Amending Town Code Chapter 125 Zoning in the matter of adding definitions pertaining to hospitality uses in Article 13, definitions in the town of Rhinebeck. May I have a motion? Thank you, Alan. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Chauncey. Is there any discussion or questions from the board? Because it's a local law, I'll do this by voice. Josh?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Chauncey?
Aye.
And I vote yes as well. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm going to tab 9, Resolution 2021-075, adopting a local law of 2021 entitled A Local Law Amending Town Code Chapter 125 Zoning in the matter of amending the Country Inn 2 specific standards to provide density and use maximums in Section 125-68 MM in the town of Rhinebeck. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Chauncey. May I have a second? Thank you, Alan. Board members, are there any further questions, comments, or discussion? Hearing none, I will go to voice vote for this. Josh?
Aye.
Thank you. Alan?
Aye.
Thank you. Chauncey?
Aye.
And I vote yes as well. It's unanimous. Thank you very much again, gentlemen. Well, congratulations. It's been a lot of work, but we did it. Michael, I think we're finished with you for this evening.
Or in my life, just.
You're welcome to stay. We're done
with you. Okay.
Listen, don't go to dinner. Stay with us.
It was a pleasure. Take care.
Thank you so much, and we'll speak soon. Jim, you can go as well if you like. And thank you for all of your help, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Have a good night. Thanks.
Okay, thank you both. Okay, so taking a breath here. I'm going to tab number 1. Resolution 2021-067, creation and funding of budget line for Historical and Archaeological Preservation Advisory Committee. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Chauncey. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. I'd like to amend this, town clerk. I'd like to add a third resolved. Resolve the town board authorizes $660 payment to Urban Edom for the setup, domain hosting, and registration of Rhinebeck HAPAC.org. And I can give this to you tomorrow. We just didn't put all the information to get this done on this resolution. Does everybody accept the amended resolution? Chauncey?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Josh? Yes, and I do as well. Now, can we vote on the amended resolution? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And there are none against it. It passes unanimously. Thank you very much. I'll look for a motion for, I'll make the motion for resolution 2021-068, creation of a national resource inventory for the town of Rhinebeck, a part of Rhinebeck's participation in the DEC's Hudson River Estuary Program. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joshy. Josh, do you want to speak to this at all?
Well, this is a key piece of getting our CSC certification done, and emboldens the community, the Conservation Advisory Board, to have better information when working with the Planning Board. So we figured out how to do it economically through a grant, and I think it's a good thing.
Yes, this will be more information for us as to the habitats in our town. It will help us count points towards our community smart community certification.
Climate smart,
yes. Climate smart community certification. Thank you. And we're grateful for Mark for pushing this forward for us. Any further discussion? All in favor? I'm sorry.
No. Please go ahead with the vote, and then I'll ask my questions. It's got nothing to do with this.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Chauncey, you had a post-vote question?
On the prior resolution, did we vote? I thought we might be voting on just the amendment, and then it needed to have another vote on the.
No, I asked if everyone accepted the amendment. You raised your hand, and then I voted on the resolution. I think we're covered.
The amendment was never seconded. You made the motion, but it was never seconded.
Alan seconded it according to my notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I write down who first.
Sly second.
Okay. We're good then, John? Thank you.
Great.
I will make a motion for resolution, just because I have it on the agenda, 2021-069, a letter to State Senator Serino and Assembly Member Cahill requesting funds for the Department of State's Waterfront Revitalization Program as part of the $300 million Environmental Protection Fund. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alan. Is there any discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. I'd like a motion for resolution 2021-70, hiring our town sustainability clerk, David Chernak.
Motion.
Thanks, Josh. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Alan. Is there any discussion, questions, or comments from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I will make a motion for resolution 2021-071, training for our deputy town clerk. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alan. Any comments or discussion from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Resolution 2021-072, paying, I will make this motion, paying off our $250,000 Thompson Mazzarella Park Phase 1 serial bond. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alan. Any further discussion or questions from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. I will make a motion for a resolution 2021-073 for our preliminary accounts payable abstracts, 41 checks totaling $285,904.99. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chauncey. Any questions or comments from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Thank you, gentlemen. Is there any new business before the board? Does anybody wish to make any announcements or committee and liaison reports?
Well, let me just mention that we got some. We were all copied on notes from Carrie.
Carrie McCurdy, our rec director.
Summer camp and pool, and
yeah, you froze out.
We haven't gotten the final guidance from the State Department of Health. It's a little premature. So,
all right, I'll just repeat what you said
because I have to say, and there are a bunch of decisions we're going to have to make.
Okay, I think you might have to repeat yourself. You went in and out a little bit.
Oh,
you froze.
I'm sorry. So, Carrie, the recreation director, sent us all a for the summer camp.
Alan, I'll take over because you're freezing there. I think you have a bandwidth issue. Today,
we just got them, so we're going to look at them, and I'll be able to speak to them in more detail at the next meeting. And at that point, we should authorize whatever summer programs we decide are appropriate.
Thank you. Just an addendum here. So gentlemen, read your emails. Carrie sent us a plan. Let's be prepared to discuss it at our next meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Also, anything else from anybody? Any new business? Chauncey, Josh?
No, not this time.
Okay, any public comment on any non-agenda items? Tom, you're hanging in long. Do you want to talk to us about anything? Okay. Hearing nothing, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.